The title of this lesson is Encouraging One Another. Hebrews 10, verses 24 through 25. We need to consider each other and see how we can encourage one another through showing love and doing good things. We should not quit meeting in church, and that's what some people are doing. We should meet and fellowship and encourage one another. You need to do this more and more as the day is coming. There are two important things. First, you need to love because the heart can be very selfish. Second, you need to do good things because the heart can be very lazy. If I dream and I'm excited that I bought a new home, but I need to fix things in it, and I look around and I see sadness in the church, on my brothers and sisters' face, I need to consider how can I help them and encourage them. I can send them an email, text, or call them. Then that will make them feel good and encourage them. Two things. Love and doing good works. How can I show this? In Hebrews verse 25, it says some people had a bad habit of not attending church, something bad, and they still do this today. Let us talk about why this is a bad habit. Not only Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. When you go to church, you should be excited and happy. When you meet in the church, which one of these three describes you? First, I do this out of habit and I don't really think about it. Second, I think that church is boring and I think about it twice. Or third, I am focused in encouraging one another and fellowshipping with God. Which one of these three describes you? In Hebrews verse 3, verses 12 and 14, brothers and sisters, be careful that none of you sins. Refuse to believe and stop following God. But you need to encourage one another every day. Do this what it is today without hesitation. Help one another. Then your heart will not be hardened. And your heart will not sin, or your heart will not sin and it fools people. We share with Christ. And that is, if it's true, then you will continue till the end. I have sure faith that I had then from the beginning. I grew up in a Christian church with my family. My dad encouraged my sister, Yvette, to interpret for me because I needed to understand, and I was the only deaf person in this family. Also, I taught two female cousins. I taught them ASL, and I taught them, how to interpret for me. They didn't really know a lot, but they tried to help me. My sister was very busy at home with the 3 children, and she couldn't help interpret for me. So I encouraged 2 other young girls in the church, to learn ASL, and they wanted to interpret for me. And I looked around and I didn't see anyone that can interpret for me. So I saw this really young girl, and I asked her, do you want to learn ASL and interpret for me? The young girl was very excited and said, yes, I will do this. I will learn ASL. Then I saw 2 other young girls that wanted to learn, and the 3 young girls interpreted for me. When I met Pedro and he came along, I taught him ASL first. he really was interested in me, but I said, first, you need to learn ASL. When Pedro and I moved to Long Island, I was surprised to see Lynn and Lisa that they knew ASL, and I was surprised, and they interpreted for me. But not only them two, but other sisters also knew ASL. But on Sunday and Friday, things were fine. There was an interpreter for me. But on Wednesday night Bible class, there was no one to interpret for me. Pedro taught Bible class, and for him to stand for me at the same time, it's very difficult to do. So he asked our brother Mike to help interpret for me, and slowly Pedro and I taught him ASL. And now he improved and he learned ASL. A lot of people in the church didn't know my language, and I felt like I was a burden, and I didn't want them to have pity on me. And I decided that no matter what, I was going to go to church because of my salvation. And it's important in Matthew 8, verse 18 through 22. Jesus saw a crowd of people around him. One teacher of the law came up to him and said, "I will follow you anywhere you go." Jesus said, "Foxes have holes, birds of the air have nests, but the Son of God has no place to lay his head." Then another disciple came up to Jesus and said, "Wait, Lord, first let me go bury my father." What do you think Jesus' response was? "Follow me. Let the dead bury themselves."